And with so currently, mashallah, he has 4 pending patents. He's the founder and CEO of his own company. And as a serial entrepreneur, he's working on multiple future ventures and opportunities. And inshallah, he hopes to have a global impact one day with his successful business. We're really happy and excited to be having him as a guest on this webinar, and inshallah for him to be sharing his expertise. So just without further ado, Brother Muhammad, I'll hand it over to you.
Jazakallah khairan, Sister Razia. I appreciate it. You can hear me okay, right?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيد الأنبياء وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I am so excited to share with you guys what I've learned over the past few years. And I think you guys are going to love it. And inshallah, it will be a great introduction for you guys to start your own entrepreneurial activities. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. So can everyone see my screen? Let's see. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, great, great. So today, as Sister Razia said, what's beyond Amazon? And we don't have too much time, so it's going to be an introduction, but I can't wait to show you guys what's in store. So stick around and you guys will be very excited by the end of this webinar, inshallah. So a little bit about me. As Sister Razia said, I do reside in Houston, Texas with my family, alhamdulillah. I quit my job a little while back to focus on future opportunities and my own business. Now, I guess a little bit about me, kind of my story, my backdrop. A few years ago, I realized that, corporate America wasn't exactly what I had thought it was. In talking to a lot of people, they all agree. It's nothing like what they imagined. They imagine themselves to have a nice, comfortable lifestyle with a lot of time to focus on their own hobbies and enough income to be able to take care of their families. But instead, what I found was that I was just making enough, and my salary was actually very competitive, alhamdulillah, but I found that I was just making enough to get by. I wasn't really able to put as much away into savings. I wasn't able to take care of my parents as well as I wanted to. And because of that, and also time, I had no time to do anything or almost anything that I wanted. My Ramadans weren't the way they used to be in college, because in college you actually have a lot more time than you think you do. And I realized that I needed to make a change. So I started making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after taking a course called Visionaire, which is also offered by Discovery. If you guys have not taken it, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's a life-changing seminar, and inshallah you won't regret it. But I took Visionaire and I started crafting my du'as in the forms of goals. And I kept making those du'as over and over with the utmost sincerity. And subhanAllah, I started to see my life change. And here we are. So I'm going to dive right in now. Before I do, though, I kind of want to ask you guys really quickly, who are you? So I talked about who I am. Who are you? And I want, you guys don't have to reply in the message, but I want you just to take a minute to think about where your life is at and where you want it to be in 1 year. So are you in college? Are you already in corporate America? Are you a stay-at-home parent? Whatever your situation may be, I want you to think about that, internalize it, and then think, where do you want to be in 1 year? Because you can't get to point B without knowing where point A is. And a lot of people, as simple as this is, a lot of people have no idea where they're at in life. And because of that, they don't know where they want to go, because you can't get to the next point without knowing where you're at. So don't underestimate where you can get in 1 year or in 2 years or in 3 years. SubhanAllah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts barakah in your time, you can accomplish a lot more than you think. So why are we here? I want to basically let you guys answer this one as well. There's a lot of good answers to this, whether it's ibadah or to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to get to Jannah, etc. But I want you guys to write it down, and I want you to actually stick it on your wall. And I really mean this. Write it down on a sticky note, tape it to your wall or stick it to your wall. because you need it as a compass. You need to be able to come back to it. Whenever you're pursuing wealth, it's very important to make sure that the money and the wealth stays in your hand and why you're going after it. And when you have this why, when you have this strong reason and motivation to go after it, it will be a lot easier to get through the hurdles, because there will be hurdles, but inshallah it'll be worth it. So I also want to share a quick story about the little shop in the mosque. I want you guys to compare basically the world of online retail with the little shop in the mosque. You know, a few years ago, the new masjid was being built next to my house, and they had this little tiny space, it was almost like a closet, and it was available to rent. And the rent was $700 per month, and you could do anything you wanted. You could sell anything you wanted, of course, you know, anything halal, but you could do what you wanted in that little space. So you could have your own little shop, you could have a service, whatever you wanted to offer. And I considered it because at the time I was looking for different opportunities, and I strongly considered it. And I would always run the math and run the numbers, and the numbers never worked out. It was always, it always fell short. You know, $700 rent plus the cost of inventory, plus the cost of goods and the traffic. You know, the masjid is a very big masjid where I live. We have over 1,000 people who attend Jummah, but even still, the traffic just wasn't there. So I want you to compare that to the world of online selling. Online selling allows you to instantly reach over 300 million people, especially in the US. And if you're in the UK, you can actually reach the US marketplace as well, which we're going to talk about. So there really is no comparison. A lot of people, they try to start businesses, you know, brick and mortar stores, they try to open restaurants, and that's great. I think that's awesome. But I feel like they're very capital intensive, and they're not really viable opportunities for people who are like myself, where they, you know, they're working the day-to-day job, they're not business people, or they weren't business people, and they don't know that much about business. So the $1 million question is, you know, why online marketplaces and where to start? So the number one place to start, and a lot of you may already know this, and as we said, is Amazon. And there's a reason for that. Amazon is the largest online retailer in the world. They sell consumer products as well as their own products. So they have their own brand. But the more important thing to know is that they're an online marketplace where almost anyone can sell on their website. Now that is big because you get instant access to all of their customers. And they know that, and they know it's an opportunity, and they charge you for that. But you'll see that despite what they charge you, it's peanuts, inshallah, in compared to what you can make. So I put this here in case we've got a lot of international people. If you wanted to know whether your country can sell on Amazon, I got this up here just in case you are in one of these countries, or if you're not in one of these countries, it's important to take note. But it's a lot of countries, and even if you're not, there's still opportunities, inshallah, out there. So once again, why start with Amazon? I talked about they're the largest online retailer in the world. Here are some numbers. From 2016, year over year, they've continued to grow exponentially, and it's only going to continue to grow by Allah's will, because they are making sure that they stay on top of their game. Now, a lot of you people have already heard about Amazon, and a lot of people, there's a lot of chatter out there, there's a lot of rumors out there, and I want to kind of clear those up real quickly. So a lot of people say it's too crowded, or the rules are harder now, or I could get banned and lose everything, or having your own website is better. Now, all of this is true. Excuse me, all of this is true, but they're actually good things if you think about them. For the people that are looking to really start a true business, these are actually very good things, because Amazon has cleaned up a lot of the loose ends, and they've made it a better opportunity for you. So a lot of the people who are out there to get rich quick, or try to scam people, or try to offer poor quality products, those people are gone, because Amazon has tightened the noose in a sense, and they've cleared out all the people. They've cleared all the excess fat, if you want to call it. And so now what's left are the people that really want to start a business, and that's why it's better for us. So worldwide active Amazon customer accounts. Again, I just wanted to show you guys this to show you how you'll instantly have access to over 300 million customers. And it's important to note that this is all the way up until 2015. So that customer base is even more now. All right, so another reason why Amazon is the go-to place is because they continually innovate. So they were the ones that pioneered Amazon Prime, which is their 2-day shipping service, which you have to pay for, which customers are increasing in number and love. There's also Amazon Video, which you guys might be familiar with. They compete with Hulu and Netflix. There's Amazon Basics, which is their own brand. There's Amazon Studios, Prime Now, Amazon Kindle, Echo, Tap, the Fire tablet, and even Amazon Vehicles, which you guys might not even know about. Also, I wanted to talk about, big picture stuff and not just Amazon. The future of trade is online. So this decade is experiencing a seismic shift in terms of where people are buying their products. 5-10 years ago, the majority of purchases were still in retail stores, and it's shifting very quickly to online. There's still retail market share. There's still, you can still buy stuff in a store. There's still stores. That's not going away anytime soon. But a large percent of purchases are being made online now. And that's where we come in. That's where the opportunity lies for us, inshallah. Here's another example of how things are being transitioned. JCPenney, Macy's, Sears, Kmart, Staples, all of these stores, they're shuttering their doors. And this is in 2017 alone. So these stores were once doing well. They were once there making a profit. So where are the customers going? As I said, they're going online. Now, why do you think these stores are closing? You guys can answer this if you want. If you guys can provide your suggestion in the chat, why do you think these stores are closing, other than what I said? You can just take a guess. There's no wrong answer if anyone wants to give it a shot. Why do you think stores are closing, and why do you think customers are shopping online more? Yes, good answer. So convenience is an issue. Lack of products since most sell online. Awesome, you guys got it. Cool, time gets saved. Yes, all correct. So convenience is an issue, for shopping in stores, but also selection. What's really cool about online or selling online is that you have access, as I said, to the entire country. And because of that, you have access to niche markets where companies like Walmart and Target would rather not sell, because if they're going to sell, for example, a very specific fishing product, or if they're going to sell, for example, a kid's fishing pole, how many variations of a kid's fishing pole do you think they're going to sell? They're probably going to sell one, maybe two. And the reason is because they want to appeal to the largest audience with as little of products, with as little of selection as possible. But when you sell online, you have the opportunity to sell 10 different kids fishing poles, because the selection or the market is larger. So these companies, it's not worth it necessarily for them to hold it in stock, but it's worth it for you to sell online. Another issue that people come across with is they think they don't have time to start their own business. And alhamdulillah, with the tools available today, it is work, but it's absolutely a possibility. And one of the biggest reasons why that is because of services like Fulfillment by Amazon. Because of Fulfillment by Amazon, some people say this is the best time to start a business in the history of the world. And here's why. If you don't already know, Amazon ships your orders for you. They store, they pack, and they label them. And they all do it for a small fee. Prime membership, which customers have access to if they sign up for Amazon Prime, is increasing year over year. And Prime membership is important because when you ship your goods to Amazon's warehouse to ship for you, you're basically enabling your purchases to be purchased by Prime customers. So customers now get free 2-day shipping when you send your goods to Amazon. They also handle the customer service and returns. So that's a huge amount of time saved, because a lot of customers do return, a lot of customers do want customer service. You save time and money. So as an example, if you're selling a product that's 1 pound or less and it's a standard size item, Amazon will charge you just $3 to store, pack, label, and ship that product. Now, if you were to try and do that all by yourself or hire an employee, it would be at least $8, if not more, because you need to purchase the packing materials, you need to purchase the labels, you need to print the labels, and you need to have storage or warehouse space. Now, why does Amazon do it for $3? It's just because they have the volume. They're doing millions and millions and millions of products. So their boxes and their labels and their shipments are so cheap. Now, there's one big secret that actually the majority of Amazon sellers today are not taking advantage of. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, inshallah. It's Amazon Europe. So Amazon is really trying hard to expand as much as possible. They've opened up their website, or they've opened up European marketplaces, as well as India, China, and Japan, and the North American marketplace. But they're working so hard to expand. This is going to change probably this year or the next. Just on March 28th, which is just last week, Amazon actually announced that they purchased the most profitable, or the largest online retailer in the Middle East, which is Souq.com. So they just completed the purchase of Souq.com. So you can imagine what they're going to be doing there soon. So why Amazon Europe? Amazon Europe actually combined has almost as much monthly visitors and as much revenue as Amazon in the US. And that's important because you've got almost as much customers, but the demand is way, way less. The demand in Germany is surging, but the supply of sellers is actually way less than what it is in the US. So there's a huge opportunity there. Amazon Europe. Why is it also nice? Because Amazon allows you to sell or to ship your goods to one location, and then they'll do the heavy lifting for you. They're going to ship it and sell it to 26 different countries. Amazon will also help you every step of the way. And I'm doing this myself. And so Amazon, literally, we have an account manager that assists us for everything we need for Europe. They teach us and they help us and they show us every step of the way what we need to do. But they only do that because we're selling on Amazon.com. So if you want access to this huge marketplace, and if you want access for the help, then you have to start on Amazon.com. Now, that doesn't mean you can't start on Amazon Europe. You can. For example, the people that are tuning in from the UK, you can absolutely start on Amazon UK and selling to Amazon Europe without selling on Amazon.com. But I'm speaking specifically about the help. For them to assist you, you have to start on Amazon.com because they're trying to get Amazon.com sellers to Europe because they're trying to meet that demand that's there. So that's basically a free service that they're offering to us, which is worth thousands of dollars because they're basically showing you the ropes, which they could honestly charge a lot for. So if you are in the UK or in Europe, definitely I would start in Europe as well. But I would also not write off Amazon.com because Amazon.com still has a bigger market and the opportunity there is still huge. So just the path forward, we're not going to have time to talk too much about it today, but I did want to mention it so that way you're not thinking only about Amazon. I want us to think big picture. So whenever you start selling on Amazon, it's really just the starting point. When you start selling on Amazon and you're successful, inshallah, and you launch your products, then you're going to want to branch out to Amazon in international marketplaces. You're also going to want to branch out to your own website, and a lot of people use Shopify for that. And you can drive traffic to your Shopify website through social media, which we can talk about at a later date. DiscoverU has a course about that already. But also I wanted to mention places like, or other platforms like Jet.com and Walmart.com. Now this is important because once you start selling on Amazon and you're successful, you want to apply to sell on these other platforms, which also have large customer bases, especially Walmart.com. Now the first thing they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, what are your sales? What are your online sales actually? That's what they ask you. What's your company name? Where do you sell? What's your e-commerce experience and your online marketplace experience? So you can guess what they're looking for. They're the biggest competitors to Amazon. Walmart is one of the biggest competitors, if not the biggest competitor to online selling to Amazon. eBay has kind of fallen behind. It's still there, but it's a fraction of what Amazon is today. So these companies like Jet and Walmart, they want to see, the moment they see that you're selling on Amazon and you're selling well, then they're going to accept you and approve you to sell on their website, which will then increase your customer base even more. So like I said, Amazon is just the start. And also once you sell on Amazon, it's worth mentioning retailers are also going to be interested in your products because you can bet the first thing they're going to do when you apply is they're going to see the success of your products. And you're going to be able to show your 5-star reviews on Amazon, which is the greatest social proof. So back to Amazon.com. Really quickly, how does it work? Any commonly bought household item will be sold by the thousands each month. Amazon, with the millions of customers, sells millions of products, and a single category will sell thousands each month. So you're talking about plates, cups, etc. Customers are buying them by the thousands. So if you got just a fraction of those sales, you could sell 200, 500, or even 1,000 units per month. And if you were to make $5 profit per unit, then you could easily make $1,000 a month, $2,500 a month, or $5,000 a month. And I'm trying to be conservative here. So when I sell my own products, honestly, I consider it a failure if I'm only making $1,000 a month on one product, because the potential is so great and the opportunity is there. As long as you optimize your listing, $1,000, you'll see, inshallah, that $1,000 a month per product is actually quite low. But I don't want to stay at our hopes up. So let's start small and assume that $1,000 a month is still a good, and it is. $1,000 a month is still a worthy achievement. So some more numbers, just to kind of give you guys a rough idea if this is right for you. You would, if you chose to sell a product that retails for $10 to $20, it would likely cost you $2 to $7 to get it to Amazon. Now that includes shipping costs, that includes buying the unit, usually it's from China, and all the fees associated with that. So if you're shipping by air, by sea, the duty, the import fees, everything, it will cost you $2 to $7. So the profit after all costs and Amazon fees will probably be around $3 to $7. Again, this is just ballpark. So usually whenever you sell or whenever you buy, this is just an average. I've actually gotten a product down that I buy from China and I ship to the US. Everything included, it cost me 70 cents. It cost me 70 cents to buy per unit. So if I were to buy 1,000 units or 1,500 units, we're talking a total of $1,000. That product is currently sold for $10 on Amazon. So I recommend an initial investment of 1,500 units, which could cost you anywhere between $3,000 and $10,000. But if you'd like to start safer and slower, which is actually what I did when I first started, because I had no idea what I was doing. I started safer and slower, and it worked out. And you can start with 500 units or even 300 units, and the investment will be less. But it is worth knowing that your progress will be slower because you probably will run out of inventory. And once you run out of inventory, you're going to have to pay a little bit more to ramp back up. But it is an option to start slower. All right. So some more numbers. I included this page here because I actually recommend targeting a product that would cost between $20 and $30 on Amazon. The profit margins are usually better, which means if you were to sell a product in this profit or in this retail range, it's kind of like making more money with less effort. So you would have to pay more upfront in terms of buying the product, but the margins are healthier. So later, as competition decides to jump in, as people try and knock you off or copy you, you're going to have a healthy margin to keep going. So the initial cost would be 4 to 15 probably. Profit after that, maybe 7 to 15 on average. And then initial investment could be anywhere from $4,000 to $23,000. I included this slide for you just to kind of give you an idea of what you're going to need to pay when you get started. Your wire transfer and payment fees will be $40. Software fees, including Amazon's monthly fee for a professional seller account, is about $40. So if you include other software fees like Jungle Scout is a really big one and popular one out there. Jungle Scout will help you find products. It will fast forward, I guess, the product research phase, but it's not necessary. So if you do want to invest in those, they do cost a little bit of money. And of course, product cost we already talked about. It can be anywhere between $1 and $20 per unit. So if you were to kind of ramp up and try and sell about one product or try and launch one product per every 3 months and you reach 4 products in 1 year, you could be making anywhere between $5,000 and $15,000 per month. Also, if you keep going and you start to sell 4 to 8 products, you could easily hit $14,000 to $30,000 per month. So how do you stand out? Really quickly, this is a brief summary. There's a lot more to this, but I want to give you guys an idea so that way you could get started as soon as possible. So on Amazon, there's two types of sellers. There's people that resell products. There's wholesalers, people that sell, brand names such as an OtterBox Defender iPhone case. So you're not making that, or you're not paying someone to make it for you. You're just reselling it. Those are great, and they used to be a huge opportunity on Amazon. But as people tried to jump in and kind of take a share of the pie, it's now very crowded. So here, if you look at this Wilson basketball, there's 61 people on Amazon selling this. And you're basically competing on price. So when you're trying to sell this Wilson basketball, in order for you to get the quote unquote buy box, which is that page or that information next to the pictures in the listing, you're going to have the lowest price and the best the best feedback rating out of all the sellers, which is pretty hard to do when you're competing with 61 people. So The solution to that is to actually have your own buy box with your own product. An example is Green Toys. So maybe you've heard of Green Toys, but I haven't. So Green Toys, it's not maybe a very well-known brand, and it's likely someone who started their own company or their own brand name, and they started selling on Amazon. Now, the beauty of this is that you have the buy box 100% of the time. Your listing is also separated in the search results. So what Amazon does is if you're selling that Wilson basketball, you're not going to get your own, your own spot in the search results. You're going to be grouped into the Wilson basketball listing. But if you have your own product, like this pink dump truck, you're gonna show up in the search results showing that pink dump truck. And I also picked this one for a reason, because I want to show you guys how easy it is to differentiate yourself. So this is also called private labeling. Now let's look at the pink dump truck for a little bit. If you were to go to Walmart or Target, they may have 1 or 2 brands of dump trucks. And again, they're appealing to this wide audience. The majority of people buying dump trucks are going to buy that yellow Tonka or that yellow Caterpillar dump truck. But what if people want a dump truck for a girl? What if people want a smaller dump truck or a bigger dump truck? What places like Amazon do is they allow you to sell to all those people out there that are looking for kind of the lesser demand products. But when you combine the demand of 300 million people, it's a huge opportunity still. So if you take a look here, I showed a little bit more search results. If you look on the left, this is sold by Yida Toys. I don't even know if that's how you say it. They're selling it for just $7.24. It's only 3.5 stars with 161 reviews, which is not that much, by the way. They're ranked number 447 in Toys and Games, which is it's a very, very good ranking. That equals about 3,000 units sold per month. So this person, even if they're just making $1 or $1.50 per unit, they're making easily $3,000 to $5,000 per month. So what's the process? All right, so 4 steps. Again, I'm going to summarize it as best as I can. So you want to find a popular category on Amazon, and there's many ways to do that. You can brainstorm in your home. You can go to the market. You can go to Walmart and just kind of shop around, see what people are buying, and see what's on the shelves to kind of help you brainstorm. Also think about your hobbies. What do you enjoy? So if you like fishing, camping, think about all the equipment that you need for that, and maybe you could sell that. Also, you would need to find a reliable supplier, and the 2 best places that I know of, or that I prefer these, is Alibaba and Global Sources. Alibaba is kind of like the Google of wholesaling. Everyone uses it, but I actually kind of prefer Global Sources because I think it's US owned, but also because it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot cleaner, and I feel like the verification processes are better in it, so you can know who your factory is more so than Alibaba. Alibaba has a lot of clutter, so a lot of people might look like a factory or a manufacturer, but they're really just agents. I would say the majority of people on Alibaba are agents. They're not actually the source of the product, which obviously means you're going to be paying more because the agent needs to take their cut. So once you find a reliable supplier, you're going to launch your product on Amazon. Then you're going to maintain your product on Amazon. So launching, there are many different ways to launch. One way to launch is to ramp up your advertisements on Amazon.com or on social media websites such as Facebook. Also, you want to lower your price. That'll be more enticing to buyers. You also want to optimize your listing as best as possible. So you're going to need to focus on keyword research. You're going to need to focus on finding the best keyword phrases that customers are using to find your product. And then maintaining, you always want to work on improving your listing. So once you are successful, you want to constantly work to improve. You don't want to just sit, because people are going to constantly be trying to work to beat you. And as long as you continue to improve your product and continue to offer new products and better things for your customers, they are going to constantly come back to you. So we don't have too much time, but I wanted to, again, show this to you guys. So this will help you find a popular product on Amazon. I call this my 1- formula. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen, this is all the all the criteria for an ideal product on Amazon. Now, everyone, because kind of the word is out about Amazon, so a lot of people are trying to sell, and this is what people are being taught. They're being taught to find something that's lightweight, small, non-fragile, doesn't have electronic parts, and things like that. So I actually take it one step further. I say find everything that matches this, but subtract one item. So for example, one of my products that I sell is fragile. It matches all the criteria here, but it's fragile. And when you do that, when you kind of step away from the path a little bit, the traffic is going to be less. People are not going to be considering it as much because they're going to shy away from it. They're going to be afraid. They're going to say, oh, I'm not supposed to sell something that's heavy, or I'm not supposed to sell something that's big, or I'm not supposed to sell something that's fragile. And so when you do that, the traffic is less, the competition is less, but the demand could still be there. So if you want to sell, for example, a larger product like a barbecue or a backyard umbrella, it's a large product, but the competition is going to be way less because it's heavier. It's going to cost more to get to Amazon. So if you have that investment, absolutely research it. Previously, people would say, if they were teaching you how to sell on Amazon, they would say, stay away from that. But the competition is less. And if you have the money, it's an extremely lucrative opportunity. So I definitely advise you to do your research and do the math. And if it's profitable and you're ready to make that investment, definitely go forward with it. So try to find everything that matches that criteria on the left-hand side of the screen. And if you find something that's kind of that's missing one item, that's good. There are things that I would probably avoid, like I would probably not pick a product that's hazardous. But it's definitely, if you've got the capital, if you're willing to kind of do your due diligence and make sure that you properly do your research and take care of all the checks and balances, there's opportunity in every single niche and every single market out there. Also, searching according to BSR. So BSR stands for the bestseller ranking. Now, if you search on Amazon.com and you click on a listing and you scroll to the bottom, Amazon is going to have what's called a bestseller ranking for every single product. The BSR varies by category, or the BSR value varies by category. But ideally, let's say you're searching for that toy dump truck, you want to have 2 to 3 sellers of a toy dump truck on Amazon, or 2 to 3 listings that have a BSR between 700 and 1200. And these are just estimates. So if you find something that's 650 or 550, that's okay. These are just ideal situations. You also want to find 2 to 3 listings that have a BSR between 2,500 and 5,000. After that, you probably want a little bit less competition as you scroll down in the search results. So you want to make sure that after probably the first 5 to 10 sellers or 5 to 10 listings, there aren't as many people who are making it big or selling a lot. And the reason for that is because the more people that are selling well and doing well, the harder it's going to be for you to jump up there and get to page 1 and start selling your product as well. Also, you want to make sure you're searching for the main product keywords. So if you're trying to sell a toy dump truck, you want to make sure that you're not missing out on the ideal keyword or the optimal keyword. So I searched for toy dump truck, but the majority of customers could be searching for just dump truck or dump truck for kids. That could be the main keyword. So you want to be careful because you don't want to search something and say, oh, this is a great opportunity. And then you search for another set of keywords and then you realize that's where all the traffic is. And there are different ways to determine the traffic on Amazon, which we can cover at a later date, inshallah. So a little bit of summary on the right-hand side of the screen. Probably the 4 main categories that are the best or the easiest to sell on in Amazon.com is home and kitchen, toys and games, sports and outdoors, and the baby category. Now, the reason I say this is because a lot of the other categories are smaller or they require you to get approval, which if you want to pursue, then by all means go for it, but you're going to have to work harder. And in some cases, that's a good thing because you're going to, less people means less competition. So the harder it is to get in, the less people that will be selling in that category. But in order to get started, in order to make your life easier, I would say try to focus and try to find a product in these categories because there's still a lot of opportunity for them. So if you're searching on Amazon and a product in the home and kitchen category has a BSR of 1,000, that means they're probably selling about 60 to 70 a day, and on and on and on for toys and games, sports and outdoors, and the baby category. Now, this does change. It's just an estimate. So around the holidays, especially November, December, if someone has a BSR of 1,000, they're probably selling around 100 a day, if not more. And that's because the more people are shopping, more people are buying. So it's harder to get that rank of 1,000. All right, so a little bit of a continuation for finding a popular product on Amazon. Find products with deficient qualities. Now, whenever you're searching for a product to sell, you're going to want to check out the competition. So you want to find competition that don't have optimized listings. Their images aren't very high res or HD. You also want to find them with missing features. And how do you do that? Is you want to look at the customer complaints inside the product reviews. So if you're looking in their reviews, and you're seeing a constant complaint about a feature or a missing feature for that product, and that's something that you can add in China or wherever you're sourcing your product, that could be a very lucrative opportunity. I have done this myself on multiple products. I've seen it where customers are complaining, or I saw an opportunity where people were selling something on Amazon, but it wasn't exactly meeting the demands or the needs of the customers. So I basically altered the product a little bit. I fixed it up. I made it adhere, or I made it more ideal for the use of that product, and customers ate it up. They took it. They bought it because it's a better product. So I'm not saying go to China or search on Alibaba, find something and sell it on Amazon. I'm actually saying go and find a product, make it better. And a lot of times you don't have to change things. You can just verify. So once you verify, once you sell your 300 units or your 500 test units, then you can work on changing the product. Once you verify that the demand is there and that you can rank for those keywords on Amazon, then you can actually change the product and invest more money in things like a mold cost. And mold costs are really helpful because they allow you to differentiate yourself and stay and keep away from people who try to copy you. So when people try to copy you, if you've got a mold cost that costs $1,000 in China, they're probably not going to do it because it's not worth it. They're looking for a get-rich-quick, listing. They're looking for a get-rich-quick product, which, as I said, is much harder to do these days. Also, some other tips. Determine if you can improve those products. I mentioned that. Bundling also improves products. I've done that myself on multiple occasions. I've seen people selling one unit of a product when I know from my personal experience that customers would like a pack of 3 or a pack of 4 or a pack of 5. So I started selling a pack of 3 and my listing shot up to the top. And once you're on page 1, I promise you the sales will come in. You will not need to advertise. You can advertise a little bit to stay there if you want, but your advertising costs will be minimal and the traffic is huge. Also, adding an accessory could differentiate yourself. Variations, so different colors, different sizes, different material, that can also help. And last but not least, you also want to make your product stylish and trendy. So I personally, I'm not very good at style. I'm not very good at fashion. But alhamdulillah, my wife, she loves following blogs. She loves keeping up with styles. I literally ask her about every single product that I want to sell. We're actually a team now. We work together. She's, I guess, one of the employees of the company, subhanAllah. But it's really so important because I see time and time again, people are trying to launch products on Amazon, but they pick something that nobody wants. So they try to change it up. They try to make a different style or a different feature, but it doesn't actually look nice. And when it doesn't look nice, customers aren't going to buy it. You have to follow what the market wants. And to do that, or an easier way to do that is to seek the help or the guidance of someone that actually knows what looks good. So here's an example of someone that I already taught on Amazon. They launched their product on February 1, 2017. So again, this is just 2 months ago. They've been selling for just 2 months. They've already hit, alhamdulillah, $8,000 in revenue. Now this is $8,000 and 568 units ordered. Now they did a giveaway. If you look at, there's a spike in the middle of the screen in the middle of their chart. They did a giveaway, so you can dock about $2,000 from that and about 200 units from that. But despite that, they did that giveaway. They didn't even have to, honestly, but they wanted to jumpstart their sales, and that was their choice. But I wouldn't have advised that. That is one method or one launch method, and so that is a potential success, or that is a potential way to have a successful product. But once they did that, it didn't. As you can see, it didn't help too much. It really happened organically. I think word of mouth and low price and starting to get reviews is really what drove the success of their listing. So after just 2 months, revenue continue to climb, and it's important to note the average number of sales. Your sales will go up and down. They still go up and down for me. Sometimes they go up and down a lot. But if you look at the overall trend is very exciting. He's very excited, alhamdulillah. Starting from 0 units a day, he's now averaging 5 to 10 units a day, and it's only going up. So the opportunity is still there. This is not 2 years old. This is not last year. This is this February to April 4. The screenshot was taken today. So the opportunity is there, inshallah. You just have to go after it. Now, I did want to mention that this is a business opportunity. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You may have to work hard for it. Actually, you will have to work hard, and you may have to stay up long nights. There is risk, as there is in anything, and there is a lot of effort, and you will have to put work. But I did want to also say that this is a life-changing opportunity. that awaits you, inshallah, if you do put that effort and if you combine it with dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm excited for you guys. I hope you guys learned something. And jazakumullahu khairan, and please feel free to ask any questions. Sister Razia, would you like to take the floor?
Sure. So we'll just go through the questions that we've had. So we haven't had anyone submit on the questions. I can just scan the chat if anyone wants to submit them here. Did you want to keep going and see if we get questions come in? How do you, so Imad's asking, how do you find a good niche that isn't already populated?
Good question. Good question. So how do you find a popular niche? So there's a lot of different ways. I would start out by just kind of, the easiest way to start out is by just looking in your home. Look at what you sell, look at what you use, look at everything your hand touches on a daily basis. Then if you're still short on ideas, I would look at what your hobbies are. So for me personally, I'll go ahead and give this one away. I enjoy sports. So if you let's say you like basketball or volleyball or tennis, there's a lot of equipment that comes with those. So there's carrying bags, there's socks, there's knee pads, there's gloves. If you're a fitness person, there's a lot of equipment in the fitness industry that basically customers are buying in the thousands every day, and you have to think about it first in order to research it. A lot of this stuff is sitting right under our noses, but we don't actually see it. We don't actually think about it until we consciously say, I need to find a product, or I want to think of something to sell. And over time, it'll come to you right away. So for example, I'm going camping this weekend with my son's school, and the first thought I had was, what are we going to need? What are the supplies we're going to need? And then the second thought I had is, maybe I could sell camping supplies, because there's so many things that go into camping. And you could start basically a brand all around camping supplies. Of course, you'd have to do your research and make sure it's profitable, but there's millions of products. And then after your hobbies, if you're still not sure, you could go to stores. I found a product just walking. One of my products is one of my best sellers, and I was just literally walking in Walmart, looking up and down the aisles for something that I could sell. I found one, I saw it, I checked it on Amazon. There was a lot of demand, but there were very few people selling. And today, alhamdulillah, like I said, it's one of my best-selling products, all from just walking in Walmart. There's so many different places. There's Walmart, Target. You can go into the grocery stores too. Grocery stores don't just sell food. They sell consumer goods as well. They sell little trinkets, they sell bags, they sell everything. So if you've got a Kroger or a Randall's near you or things like that, those are great places to go as well. Also, one of the things that I didn't get a chance to talk about today, to find a niche, it's a very powerful way too, but you could spend hours doing it. Whenever you go to Amazon, Amazon has everything broken up by categories. So when you do that, you can easily jump from category to category, and you will find millions. And if you wanted to, if you kept going, you could find millions, but you will find hundreds of products that actually could be potentially sellable that you never even knew about. And all you have to do is just jump from subcategory to subcategory. So if you want, I can go ahead and, why don't I do that real quick? I can show you. Let's do that. Let me share my screen again. So this is on the fly. So if you go to Amazon.com, and let's say you search for ice pop molds, all right? So now you're looking for ice pop molds, okay? So let's say you're considering this, your kid loves popsicles, there's these kinds of ice pop molds, they're doing well, they're selling, there's a lot of competition. But then if you look over here, you see these subcategories over here? You see how Amazon starts to offer you suggestions? There's egg separators. Or I mean, so once this is for ice pop molds, but the idea is that the Amazon will give you ideas. So then egg separators are in this specialty tools and gadgets. So then if you go back and let's actually get rid of this search term. So now let's just go to kitchen and dining. Kitchen utensils and gadgets. And tools and gadget sets. And there are a bunch of other things that you probably never would have imagined that exist. Funnels, that's a small product. This one only has 143 reviews and it's selling 719. And there's a lot of ways you could diversify. You could diversify by size. You could diversify by quantity. A lot of people don't want plastic. You could sell them stainless steel funnels. This is a flippin' fantastic as seen on TV. I have no idea what this is, but it's selling very well and it's got 2 stars. So it's really, you can either search for something and go with it, or you can search in the subcategories by looking, again, by drilling down. But I guess I want to show you again, if you search ice pop molds, what happens. I kind of went ahead. So if you search for ice pop molds and you keep scrolling down, you're going to start to see different things. So you've got ice pop pouches. So this is different than an ice pop mold. So ice pop pouches could be another potential product. Let's click on, or how about this? Let's search for ice pop pouches. Now let's keep going. And as you're searching to see if this is profitable, now you've got a neoprene freezer. That doesn't sell very well, but keep going, keep going, keep going. See, you got baby push pops. Now you've got spare ice blanket for insulators. So now you've got another product. Now you've got an apron. So I guess when you start to search, Amazon populates by the most relevant item. But when you do search, you're going to start to see other things that pop up in your face. So it's really, once I get started, when I'm searching for products, if I'm searching for anything like an ice pop pouch or an ice pop mold, as I'm searching and looking at the demand, I'm going to see stuff on the side of the screen that will intrigue me and stuff in the search results that will intrigue me. And then I kind of just dive in even further. So here you've got, let's see if it'll load. So 14 more departments. You've got women's coin purses and pouches. There's other things in sports and outdoors that you could kind of look into. So there's only one thing there, but I think you get the idea. Another really easy way is, like I said, just to start drilling through Amazon. It's endless, especially if you kind of start and search by department. So if you go to, sports and outdoors, for example, there's golf, there's team sports, hunting and fishing, exercise and fitness. I mean, there's millions of products. I could sit for hours researching products. So if you were to click into hunting and fishing, for example, there's fishing accessories. I would probably not sell knives, but there's hunting optics, hunting accessories, lures and flies, rods, reels. So fishing accessories seem like something that might work. A lot of these are small products. Again, small products. You could sell buoys. So like things that you probably wouldn't have thought of. Fishing catch processing, fishing charts and maps, 50 vacuum sealed or vacuum sealer bags. A lot of these things you probably wouldn't be able to think of on your own, but when you do search on through Amazon and you just kind of go out, and it's like diving into the ocean. There's so many products that you'll find. So I hope that kind of helped out and gave you a few ideas, inshallah.
So we have a question that came in the chat and some here. So Hang on, let me just take the first one that came in. So are you coming out with a course? We mentioned in the starting that inshallah I'll be sharing a link in the chat where you can put in your info if you are interested in further learning about Amazon. So we are testing this out, and if there's enough interest, we'll be coming out inshallah with a course with Brother Muhammad on Amazon. So today's to test the waters out. And what Chrome extension are you using to let you see item info?
Good question, Ahmed. So that I probably would have covered at a later date just because there was no time. But the Chrome extension is called DS Amazon Quick View. So let me see if I can type that. DS Amazon Quick View. Did it work? Okay. So it's called DS Amazon Quick View. It's a free tool and it shows you the BSRs directly in the search results. It'll save you hours of time. Another one, which is paid, but it's also pretty valuable, is called Jungle Scout. That one is use it, but a lot of beginners do like it because it helps them, it fast forwards the process or the product research phase, which is the hardest phase. So if you're a beginner, it could be very useful. But if you're someone like myself, I don't necessarily need it. I just kind of scan the BSRs and I kind of know what's going on. So some more questions. Which business model do you recommend, dropshipping by Shopify or businesses like this? So there are two different business models and they're both valid, alhamdulillah. I do want to say that, and I'm not playing favorites here, I think Amazon is more lucrative if you have the capital. So that's the catch. If you have less capital, Shopify might be better for you just because it does follow the drop shipping model. So if you're going to drop ship, you don't have to have the inventory, or you'll have maybe 5 or 6 samples on you. And then after that, when you're selling on your own Shopify website, you're basically buying from the supplier and selling to the customer. So you don't have to pay for inventory. So the startup costs are smaller with a little bit of ad fees, but the potential I feel like is less. I feel like with Shopify, you can do well, but Amazon, you can really strike it big. So Amazon, if you create a unique product that customers love, that nobody is selling on Amazon, and by nobody, I mean nobody is selling the exact same product as you. You don't want to try and sell something brand new, like a brand new invention or a brand new category. I would say that's very advanced. I would say you want to sell a popular product, but change it so that your product is unique enough that customers will buy yours. And if you do that, subhanAllah, you can have products that sell upwards of, or that make you upwards of $10,000 a month. Because if your product is unique, and as I said on the previous slide, for how, product criteria, if your product has an ambiguous value, then you will sell at almost, within reason at any price that you choose, because customers aren't able to compare it to another product. There's nothing out there that's offering the same thing as yours with the same features. And so because of that, you're able to charge a premium, you're able to charge kind of a higher value. And the profit margins on Amazon are everything, because if you increase your product price by $3 to $4, that's easily a profit of $3,000 to $4,000 more per month. So Amazon is, I think, a better opportunity if you want to make it big, in the sense that you invest more and then the potential is greater. Now, as with everything, it's an investment. If you don't put in the effort, or if you give up, or if you stop short, it's an investment. It's a business opportunity. Also, one of the reasons why I think Amazon is better, as I said before, it opens up the doors for other platforms. So Jet.com, Walmart.com, when I applied to them, as I said, the first thing they wanted to see was, what are your online sales? Where do you sell? What marketplaces do you sell? How well are you doing? And you can bet the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go check your Amazon listings. They're going to see, is this a 5-star product, or is it a 2-star product? And if you're not already selling on Amazon, it's going to be harder and harder to get onto those other platforms, because they're going to want to compete with Amazon. They're Amazon's biggest competitors. So Amazon is also good for the long term, because if you get in now, you're going to have access to those other platforms. You're going to have access to Amazon in Europe. I hope that answers your question. But Shopify, as I said, is definitely a valid business model, and it also requires less money as upfront.
So inshallah, we're going to take 2 more questions, and then I will conclude there. But Eden, I guess the Eden Foundation asks, what is the risk success ratio, and how long did it take you before you started seeing growth?
Very good question. So I started 2 years ago on Amazon. I sold online before that, but it was mostly eBay. I discovered Amazon 2 years ago, alhamdulillah. It did take me a little while, and that's because I had no idea what I was doing. I made a ton of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't actually in the beginning. I didn't pay for any courses. There were courses out there that were charging. You guys might know about them. They were charging upwards of $6,000. I didn't buy them. I tried to do it by myself, and the reason is because I didn't want to invest the capital. I didn't have the capital, but I made mistakes. But after I learned those mistakes and I fixed them, the growth was pretty instantaneous. But again, I have to stress the most important part is the product research phase. If you don't pick a good product, it doesn't matter how long or how much you optimize, it's not going to be successful. So because I did pick ideal products, I picked products that were unique, that were small, that were lightweight, that were fashionable, that actually looked nice. They weren't ugly. Customers ate them up. I was raising my price and customers were still buying them. I was having trouble, and I still am having trouble trying to stay in stock because customers are buying my product because it's unique. So I would say it varies, from the time of starting to the time of success. It varies depending on the product that you pick. If you pick a product that's not really exciting, it may take longer. If you pick a product that has too much demand or too little demand or too much supply, it may never take off. But I guess for all, to answer your question, from the product research phase, assuming you pick a good product, from the product research phase to the launch is about 2 to 3 months, and then inshallah, your listing and ramp up your sales. Within 4 to 6 months, you could be on your way to making at least $1,000 to $2,000 per month. And from there, it's much, much easier to launch more products because it's like you've already went through the path once. Launching more products is way easier the second time, way easier the third time, way easier the fourth time. So you're going to be able to launch more and more products at a much faster pace. Now, again, the key is to launch good products. If you pick a product, for example, that's fragile, you're going to have high customer service. You're going to have to invest a lot of time in customer service. Amazon does take care of customer service and returns for you, but shoppers still have the option of emailing you. So, for example, one of our products is fragile. It does very well, alhamdulillah, but it is fragile. It probably takes up 80% of our time for customer service. If we didn't have that one fragile product, we would almost spend an hour, 2 hours a week on customer service tops. But because of that fragile product, customers are constantly emailing us saying it broke, what do I do? And then we tell them, well, if it broke during shipment, you have to contact Amazon. And if it broke while you're using it, okay, we're going to be nice because we want to offer good customer service. We're going to give you a refund, etc. So it really comes down to picking your product. But I guess to answer your question, you can be up and running if you pick the right product in 4 to 6 months. And I'm trying to be conservative here. It could be as little as 2 months. There are fast ways to test products. For example, AliExpress.com. I'll type that for you here. AliExpress.com is a good way to test. It is more expensive, but it's like the eBay of China. So if you want to buy just 100 pieces or 200 pieces to kind of test out on Amazon, you can get them from AliExpress to Amazon within 7 days. And you can test. Now the downside is you're not going to be able to really customize. You're not going to really be able to put your own logo on it and things like that. But again, it's just for verification. So if you do buy 200, 300, 400 products, you send them to Amazon, you market them, you advertise, and then they take off, that's your green light. That's where you purchase 1,500 or 2,000 units. That's where you customize to make your product unique. So I hope that answers your question.
So a lot of people are asking like specific questions, and I just want to emphasize that today's goal is inshallah to get a taste of what Amazon's about. Mashallah, the expertise that Brother Muhammad brings to the table, and he's very successful in his business, and that's why we feel like he's qualified and he's someone that would be able to share that knowledge base. And we're trying to gauge that today, and from the people who opted in from this webinar. So inshallah, sign up. I just shared the link in the chat there. We will be sending this webinar replay link to everyone as well, so you can watch it again. And inshallah, based on that interest and going from there, he will, we can go forward with a more detailed course that would cover all those bases. So if you know others who are interested, you can share that link with them for them to sign up. And you can forward the email that we're going to send to you as well. And a lot of those detailed questions he will be covering, inshallah, in a course that would come out for that. Anything that you want to close off with, Mohammed, or anything you'd like to say?
Jazakumullah khairan, Sister Razia, for putting this on today. And I did just want to say, to go back to the beginning of the webinar, don't forget, your purpose, and try to always stay oriented in the right direction. Keep your intentions pure, and inshallah and make dua, and inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will actually make it easy for you. So this opportunity is there, and if you work hard, if you tie up your camel and have tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the hadith goes, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inshallah make you successful. But you just ask for it, make dua for it, and then go out during the day and work for it. And I think I gave you guys enough tools to get started today in terms of product research. So you can go ahead and try and get started before we kind of continue, inshallah. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khairan.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Muhammad, and mashallah, that's really beautiful advice, because I think in business people lose sight of that, and that's something that really, I know, keeps you grounded, and inshallah gives you the fuel that you need to keep going forward. So I pray Allah grants you continued success, and thank you for taking the time to share your knowledge with us, and inshallah, let's see what lies ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, sister. Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Inshallah, we'll email the link out to you, and please sign up if you are interested in learning more about Amazon, about this, inshallah, business platform. Assalamu alaikum.